Good evening and welcome everybody to the Stony Brook University School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences Special Programs Preview. I'm Amanda Mills, Assistant Director of Admissions for Stony Brook. I have a few notes before we begin. First, please use the Q&A feature to ask our speakers any questions, and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. Second, note that this session is being recorded and will be available on the admissions YouTube page soon. And there are several opportunities each week to hear a live virtual session, which focuses on Stony Brook admissions. So I encourage those of you who are just starting your college search to attend one of those presentations as well. I will post a link in the chat for your reference. And now please join me in welcoming our presenters this evening, Kurt Bresch, Senior Lecturer and Semester by the Sea Faculty Director, and Tara Ryder, Senior Lecturer and Environmental Studies Faculty Director.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Okay, Tara's going to kick this off with a discussion about study abroad. Can you guys see the slides?
So hi, everyone. One of the great opportunities that we have here at Stony Brook is a really wide range of study abroad programs. We actually have programs and opportunities in almost 100 countries. And several of them are specific really to the School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences and are led by faculty members here. So we have 4 that we're going to take a look at today. So I'm going to have Kurt go ahead and switch the screens. So the first program I want to talk about, and I will say some of these are very dear to my heart because I am actually involved in study abroad. And I do want to encourage students to try it. So we have a summer program in Tanzania. This is going to be a program. It's a 4-week program. Most of our summer programs range are 4 weeks. Our winter programs, we do have those opportunities as well. Those are typically 3 weeks. So in the summer program, we are going to spend a week on campus and kind of in an intensive cultural learning sessions that will include learning a little Swahili. So I can tell everyone Jambo Rafik, so hello friends. But then we're gonna head down to Tanzania. You're gonna, as a student, be studying environmental studies. We're gonna talk about sustainability. We also look at it very much in the context of the society and the environment in Tanzania. So we have also an element of public health and policy, because that is so closely entwined with where we live. And so while we're down there, amongst the other kind of opportunities, we are going to climb to the base camp in Mount Kilimanjaro. We also go on safari for 4 days, including, and you can see this in the lower picture, we camp out one night on the Serengeti. So you can imagine looking up at the stars. And so we do also get into discussions about things like air pollution and light pollution. So there's a lot of kind of broad range of discussions here. And so students will have this opportunity. At the same time, they will also get the chance to interact with the local communities. We do volunteer work. We work a lot with the students there. And we also do visit one of their health clinics. So you'll see lots of different kind of opportunities in Tanzania. We also, if you go to the next slide, have 2 programs that go to Ireland. I am actually the director of both the summer and the winter programs that go to Ireland. And I'm also, as I said, involved in the Tanzania program. So the winter program is 3 weeks and is really specifically focused on history and culture. So it's going to fulfill your SBC or your general education requirements. But the summer program is really based around environmental issues and environmental history. And so we travel throughout Ireland, we go hiking, we climb a mountain, we play in the water, and we basically look at kind of thematic studies. We look at water, we look at pollution, we look at food systems in different places, and we look at it through time so that we understand how we got to where we are today And then we also look at what are the current environmental issues and what are the potential solutions out there. So we have, as I said, the Ireland program. Again, it's 4 weeks in the summer, 3 weeks in the winter time. We also have 2 more programs that are led by SoMAS faculty. So Kurt, if you can go to the next slide. The one that I will have to admit, I would love to go on. Unfortunately, it's the same time while I'm in Ireland, is Jamaica. So this is where they go down and they do marine ecology in Jamaica, and they get the chance to go snorkeling. You can do scuba diving, underwater photography. Excursions have included things like climbing a waterfall, crawling through a cave, and also just going to like the local botanical garden and the local market. So you're getting interactions. And here students are, as I said, really going to be hands-on. You're going to literally be quite wet as you study the marine environment. They've studied the coral reefs. They've talked about mangroves while they're down there. So this is a really incredible opportunity. And we also have a 4th program, which is a summer session again in Cuba. And this is an opportunity to really study sustainability and kind of the value of looking at the environment through the lens of natural history, through art, and through kind of cultural traditions. And it allows us to really recognize that environmental solutions are going to have to come from an interdisciplinary background, that it's not simply, you know, natural sciences, that you're going to need the social sciences and the humanities. And what's so great about study abroad, and I want to encourage students, do study abroad, whether you go to Ireland or Tanzania or Jamaica or Cuba. That element of experiential learning really kind of opens up your perspective. It challenges us to think outside of our comfort zone. And one of the things that is also really great about Stony Brook is we support our students doing study abroad. We have a whole slew of scholarships that are available to students. I know for this summer, it looks like all of those students who are going to Tanzania with me, all of them received at least $700 in scholarships. Some of them received quite a bit more. So again, don't be afraid to apply because you're going, oh, I can't afford it. There are opportunities for funding out there. And these are classes that will help you fulfill major requirements, as well as just fulfilling those general education requirements that all students have to do. So it's something that can be worked into your 4 years at Stony Brook, and it actually can help you continue on your path. And it really does give students an opportunity to see a whole new world, quite literally. So I would encourage all of the students to, you know, check it out, come visit, come travel with us. Kurt?
Great, thank you, Tara. Okay, what I'd like to talk about with everyone is the Semester by the Sea program. And I'll spend the bulk of my time talking about this, and then I'll wrap up with a slide about our SCUBA program. Okay, so the Semester by the Sea program is a special program that we offer here in SoMAS at Stony Brook. It's really important that everybody recognize that this is a Stony Brook program. So when you're here as a student, this does not require another application. You are basically taking your classes and progressing towards graduation by participating in this program. And this program takes place at the Southampton campus. So this is also a program that's meant for juniors and seniors. So as you're thinking about getting involved in the Semester by the Sea while at Stony Brook, wait till your junior or senior year, because you really need to get the prerequisites for these upper level courses out of the way and fulfill some of your other main campus obligations. All right, so again, as you think about the Semester by the Sea, think about this as an opportunity for you to really immerse yourself in marine science when you're a junior and or a senior by coming down to the Southampton campus. Now, where is that? Well, let me show you here on Google Maps. So if we take a look at Google Maps, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit just to show you the whole island. So here's Long Island right here. And if you think about the main Stony Brook campus, that's up here by Port Jefferson. The Southampton campus is over here, coming out towards the East End. When you come out onto the South Fork of the East End, we're right here on Old Fort Pond. So this is the Stony Brook Southampton campus that you can see up here. And the Marine Station, which was in the picture, and I'll go back to that in just a second. Oh, there it is actually right there again. The Marine Station, you'll notice, is on Old Fort Pond, and Old Fort Pond connects right to Shinnecock Bay. And then from Shinnecock Bay, we can enter the Atlantic Ocean down here, or we can go through the canal and go into Peconic Bay and up the Peconic River estuary here. I wanted to show you the Southampton campus on this map because you'll see that we have access to a slew of marine and coastal environments down here at the Southampton campus. And we simply hop on our vessels at the Marine Station and motor on out and do a lot of activities in Shinnecock Bay, the shallow water habitats there, but also offshore and up in Peconic Bay. All right, so that's where you will be for the semester by the sea. So the semester by the sea, you can think of this as either a fall semester or a spring semester or a fall and spring semester experience. We have lots of students that actually come down for both the fall and spring semester, and some students actually stay for 3 semesters. I'm going to be focusing on the courses here on these next few slides, but it's important to recognize that we have some very active research labs down here as well. In fact, we have 3 of the largest research labs in all of SoMAS down here at Southampton. What this means is that you can earn research credits and learn how to do research, marine science research, by working with the Gobler, the Peterson, or the Warren labs down here. So you can earn research credits as well. And we have a lot of organizations surrounding the Southampton campus, like the New York Marine Rescue Center, AMCs, which is another organization that looks at kind of dead organisms, turtles and marine mammals that wash up. We have a lot of educational organizations, museums, outreach organizations around the Southampton campus as well. So students can also earn internship credits down here. All right, but here what you see on the slide, this lists our fall courses. Now, when you think about semester by the sea, again, think about the fall as being our active research season. The weather is really nice down here, typically right through October. What this means is that you can spend a lot of time around the water, on the water, and in the water. We have a lot of field courses down here. So if you come down for the fall, depending on which courses you select, you may be out in the field, out in the marine environment, maybe 3 or 4 times a week, depending on the classes again that you take. So what we have listed here, again, you can see that there's lots of field courses. So Long Island Marine Habitat, this is my course. We visit 6 habitats that are representative of East End marine and coastal habitats. The next 2 courses, these are our humanities courses. And so Tara actually teaches Maritime Traditions of New England. This is a evening course. It's a lecture course, a foundational course where you learn all about maritime traditions of New England. And that forms the basis for the sites that we visit. Tara and I, we co-teach this 3rd course, Coastal Cultural Experience. And on Fridays, every week, we visit a maritime site on the east end of Long Island, or sometimes we'll leave the East End. We'll actually go across Long Island Sound for one of our trips and spend a day at the Mystic Seaport. I'll show you some of the other activities with that class on the next slide once I get there. You'll see that these first 3 courses have little asterisks next to them. That means that they're really kind of the heart, the core of the Semester by the Sea program. And if you take those 3 courses, you'll be getting a fantastic experience down here, especially when you combine those with 2 of the electives that are listed down below. We often have visiting students from other institutions joining us. And so you notice that those first 3, they're required for visiting students, but they're not required for Stony Brook students. They're just highly recommended. So experimental marine biology, another field course. Ichthyology, this is my course also, another field course. Physical oceanography, another field course. You're kind of getting the gist here. You spend a lot of time out in the field. Chemical oceanography is not a field course, it's a lecture-based course, but it is required for marine science majors, as is physical oceanography and experimental marine biology right now. The next 2 are SCUBA courses, which I'll talk about at the tail end of my presentation. But just note that they're both offered in the fall, and you can get certified in SCUBA in the fall. All right, it's a little bit fuzzy. So this slide shows us the field sites that we visit in that Friday course. And again, just kind of looking around the east end of Long Island, we do a whole lot of really fun activities, visiting these, again, maritime cultural sites. So we'll go to the Fire Island Lighthouse. In fact, we'll go up the Fire Island Lighthouse. We'll visit the Montauk Lighthouse. We'll walk around the base. We'll go to the walking dunes. We'll go to the Sag Harbor Whaling Museum, and so on and so on. We'll do a boat tour of Shinnecock Bay. On one day early in the semester, we'll actually do a kayaking trip up in North Sea. We'll do that in the afternoon, and we pull out the kayaks up on the beach. We have a seafood cookout typically, or it's kind of morphed into a chili cookout recently, which is just as good. We'll watch the sun go down. We'll be around a fire pit. Tara will do a few kind of mini lectures, and it's a really fun activity. And as you see here, we'll also visit the Mystic Seaport. So again, recognize that these two courses, they kind of go, they do go together. So you'll get the basis of the content in Tara's evening course, and then you'll visit the field sites in the Friday course. Okay, the spring semester, this is not our active field season, but there are a couple field kind of activities. So marine conservation is a lecture course, that's my course. Biological oceanography, this is a field course. So you'll be out on the vessels during the spring. So it's pretty cold, but you'll be collecting a lot of water samples here and analyzing them. Then we've got other courses that are especially good for marine vertebrate biology majors, as well as other majors too. But biology, conservation of sea turtles, marine mammal and sea turtle rehabilitation, and field techniques in marine mammal science. And those three courses, they're all taught by adjuncts. And the adjuncts are executive staff basically at three of our kind of partner institutions surrounding the Southampton campus. Then we've got another one of Tara's courses here, Unsinkable Technologies. This is another lecture-based humanities course. And you'll see again, Introduction to SCUBA here in the spring. All right, so that's our spring lineup. And sometimes there's another course that kind of rotates through depending on what kind of teaching resources we have. So bioacoustics sometimes might be taught here in the spring. All right, so this is just a shot of several of the activities that we're doing with our students. You can see the students up in lighthouses. We're collecting organisms out in the bay and in the ocean with trawls and seine nets and dip nets, kayaking, or identifying the organisms, talking about ecosystems. Again, it's a lot of our activities, our lectures are actually out in the field, on the boats, in the van trips, and so on. So very immersive, very hands-on, very field-based experience. Okay, so that's the semester by the sea, of kind of a broad overview. What I'd like to end with is just talking about our SCUBA program. In our SCUBA program, you'll see that most of this actually occurs down here at Southampton in the semester by the sea. So many students, they want to get certified in SCUBA, and we really encourage them. Once you're certified in SCUBA, it opens up all sorts of doors in terms of careers or research that you can get involved in, or just recreating when you're out traveling around the world and want to see what's below the surface. So the first course is Introduction to SCUBA, which again, we offer in the fall and the spring for credit. And then typically, or historically, the Marine Science Club has been sponsoring a summer certification program as well. Not for credit, but you have lots of opportunities to get certified in SCUBA. The second course is a new course. We just taught it for the first time this last fall. It was very successful. Introduction to Scientific Diving down here at Southampton. So here you can get lots of skills that will be useful for grad school or for a career that uses diving as a tool. Tara talked about tropical marine ecology. This is our third course. This is that winter section course down in Jamaica. And then we have here a fourth opportunity. So this is a course that hasn't happened yet. It's going to be happening, I think it's next month actually. So we have faculty that are taking students to the Red Sea for the first time to learn all about coral conservation and initiatives that are going on there. And we hope that we can kind of plug this into our lineup of SCUBA courses offered within this kind of SCUBA program. All right, so that is my presentation about the semester by the sea and about the SCUBA program. And I think we would be happy to answer any questions that you guys might have about any of this or anything else related to your time here at SoMAS as an undergraduate.
Yes, and everybody, if you would prefer, you can either use the raise your hand feature, which you can see on the bottom of your screen, or if you'd rather not ask the question aloud, you can put any questions into the Q&A. Let's see, Q&A. Okay, well, I don't see any questions. Are there any? Oh, wait, I do see a question. So a question about study abroad, and do we have opportunities for study abroad in Switzerland?
Actually, I do believe we have, they're not specifically ones for SoMAS. We do have a opportunity. It's actually a semester opportunity, I believe. So one of the things to keep in mind is there are two elements. There are study abroad programs, which means they are programs led by Stony Brook faculty. Your classes, you receive Stony Brook credits. We also have exchanges. And that means you basically become a student at another university internationally. And there your credits will come from that university and they transfer to us. Our exchanges are typically done during the spring and fall semesters. Our study abroads typically are what we think of as the intersession. So they're during the fall, or excuse me, during the winter and during the summer. I believe we do have an exchange program that will allow you to study in Switzerland, but it is not, if I am correct in remembering, going to be really specifically in an environmental related field. I think there's more an element of history and maybe a language component on that one. We do have a great website that you can go to, and I can put that up in the chat so you can check out all of the different opportunities that are available to you.
And we have a question, how many students are usually accepted at a time for the Intro to SCUBA course, and separately for a semester by the sea?
Sure. So the Intro to SCUBA course right now, it's capped at about 10 each semester. So 10 in the fall, 10 in the spring. And then in the summertime, I think the Marine Science Club, they might open up multiple sessions depending on how many students sign up. Moving forward, that could be a possibility also with us in the fall and spring. If there's a demand, we might have multiple sections open up with those courses. So that's for the Intro to SCUBA course. The scientific diving course, I know this isn't what Sammy asked, but I'll throw this out here anyway. The scientific diving course, that also accepts only about 10 students currently. And again, that may be because it was the first time it was offered, but by the nature of these courses, in terms of safety considerations, we do need to keep them fairly small, which is good for everybody involved, actually. The semester by the sea question. So it's a tough question to answer because you have to define a semester by the sea student, and there's a lot of ways to participate in the semester by the sea. And by that I mean, what we really encourage students to do, and we'd like everybody here to think about, is when you do the semester by the sea, plan it so that you can live in the dorms at Southampton if you're not a commuter student, and take all of your classes at Southampton. And then you're just having the full immersive experience, semester by the sea experience. But there are lots of students who take a couple courses at main campus or live at main campus and then come down here and pick up 1, 2, 3, or even 4 courses at Southampton. So again, there's lots of ways to answer that, but I'm sure that's not a very satisfactory answer what I'm giving you. So I will say that typically in the fall and spring we have about 70 to 80 students taking at least one class down here, and living in the dorms we typically have about 20 students in the fall and typically about 10 in the spring. But again, it doesn't really, that's not really those aren't really the true numbers for semester by the sea students, because many students are commuters and so on, and taking just one or a couple courses. So Sammy, hopefully that answered your question a little bit.
And keep in mind, you don't apply for the semester by the sea. It's not a separate program. Simply as a SoMAS student, you would register for classes like you would register for any other class on West Campus.
We have fantastic advising within SoMAS. Again, Tara is the director of the ENS major, and we have directors for all of our majors within SoMAS. We also have Nancy Black, who is the SoMAS undergraduate advisor. So she covers everything. And we really encourage students to meet with her as well as their major advisor as soon as possible, especially if they want to do the semester by the sea. And you can kind of plot out your 4 years, what classes you need to take, when you think you might want to participate in the semester by the sea. You can come up with a plan pretty easily, especially working with Nancy.
And a question question we get a lot, or I get a lot, is are there courses that I could take in Southampton that are not part of Semester by the Sea? And are there other opportunities in Southampton that, if I wanted to spend some time there, that might be possible as a SoMAS undergrad?
I think the answer is no. And by that, I mean, we're the only undergraduates at the Southampton campus. So if you're taking an undergraduate course at Southampton, then you're technically taking a course that's kind of part of the Semester by the Sea program, even though you might not be a full-on Semester by the Sea student taking all of your courses done.
We also do have, and something to keep in mind, we have 3 labs that are out at the Southampton campus. So we do often have students working in those labs, undergrad and graduate students. So you get a kind of a good experience of what opportunities you have as an undergrad, but also what you might do in the future as well. And we do have some of those students are really only out there for the research lab component. So in that sense, you could be out working in one of the labs and getting basically research credit for your major degree, and not be taking kind of the more traditional classes that Kurt had mentioned earlier when he was going over the fall and spring semesters.
Good point, Tara. And we really do encourage students to get involved in research. And often the sooner you do that, the better. If you get involved in even your freshman year or your sophomore year with a research lab, by the time you're second semester junior or a senior, you may be doing your own project or an honors thesis in that lab.
And we've had students who've had opportunities to publish, to present at conferences, and it may lead to, whether it's leading to a graduate degree or just getting contacts within the field. So when you graduate, you already kind of know where you want to go job-wise.
And we have a question from Emily, which is a little separate from the School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences, but still related to research and internships, but specifically with physics and the Brookhaven National Laboratory. Stony Brook co-manages Brookhaven National Laboratory, so there is quite a bit of access for faculty, staff, and even students, and graduate students and undergraduate students through the lab. The most kind of active time of year that we see undergraduates is in the summer, working with BNL. There are some different summer research opportunities there, but just within our physics major, I mean, it's a huge amount of research going on in many different areas of physics. And I think it's still the case. But a few years ago, physics had one of the lowest student faculty ratios across campus because of how many faculty in physics are researchers and are teaching at Stony Brook. So whether it's, through Brookhaven National Laboratory or just on campus through different avenues there, research is really extensive, at the university. And we have something called the Undergraduate Research and Creative Activities Office, or Eureka. And they are really your first kind of point of information when you're trying to figure out, like, what might research mean for me, for my career goals or my interests. And maybe you're not quite comfortable approaching faculty yet, and you want kind of an intermediary, kind of like almost like a guidance counselor to help guide you with what opportunities there might be and how to best present yourself when asking for access to research or internships. So the Eureka office is a great place for that, and so is our Career and Internship Center. So besides all of the faculty resources that you have and all of the undergraduate advisors, you also have dedicated departments on campus to access these opportunities. So that's a great question.
We also do within SoMAS, we have Blackboard communities. So Blackboard's our educational platform. Some of you may be using it even at the high school level. And so we have communities for all of our undergraduate students within SoMAS, but we also have them for within our majors. I know I regularly am putting out internships and summer job opportunities and research opportunities. So you're going to have access to lots of ways to get involved. And that's the biggest thing I can recommend, is to get involved. Don't be afraid to ask. Come see us.
Well, we have time for a few more questions. If anyone wants to either raise their hand and I can unmute you to speak, or to use the Q&A. Tara and Kurt, do you have any final words for our guests today?
Just if you're an admitted student, we hope to see you here in the fall. We look forward to seeing you at Southampton in a couple of years. Again, both Tara and I are at the main campus on occasion, so you can find us there. But we can't wait to see you down here at Southampton for the Semester by the Sea.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing hopefully many of you. And as I said, reach out to us. We are a resource, and reach out to all of your faculty when you come. We want you guys to have the most successful time at Stony Brook as possible. And there are so many different things to do, from study abroads to research to something like Semester by the Sea. Find out and do it, explore.
Well, I want to thank our speakers today, our presenters. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for our guests who attended. We hope you all stay safe and healthy, be well, and have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye, everybody.
Enjoy.
Bye-bye.